Rich, that's gonna make noise. Please leave it. Hey everybody, welcome. This is our YouTube Live Wednesday night class. And so we are going to be working on a little bit of a different flow for this new year. So this is the Shamanic Vinyasa. We're going to combine some tools of yoga, vinyasa, and Reiki with some shamanic tools that will help you to really have your best self-care and self-love for this next year. And so just to have a yoga mat, of course, you're going to need some water. Make sure it's not too cold. Also, we recommend having 2 blocks and a blanket if you do have that available next to you. If you don't, no worries. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much. Can you turn that fan off, please? All right, we're going to get started on our mat. Go ahead and have a seat. Let me adjust my camera just a tiny bit back, just so y'all can see my whole mat. There we go. All right, and we're going to begin with our breath work. I'm going to play some music here as we get started. So go ahead and just find your easy seated posture. And we're going to begin with long, deep, full inhales and exhales through the nose. Just your natural breath. So I invite you to settle in for the next 55 minutes. And just find a happy place. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can always pause and come back in. We're going to start all of our classes with pranayama, so that's just the first 5 minutes of our class. So pranayama is a controlled breathing. Prana is our life force energy. And so with the element of prana, we are alive. If we didn't breathe, we would not be alive. And that is the most essential function, is getting breath. Breath, as the ancient yogis have said, is the way for us to extend our life force out. So we can extend longer and deeper and fuller breaths. We can actually extend out our life, was the belief system that they had. So we're going to begin by adding a really nice, deep, full breath. But once you get settled into your mat, just notice the rhythm of your own breathing. And your own breath might be shallow, it might be fast, it might be hurried. If you are here in the studio with us and you rushed in to get to yoga, you might be still racing from the car drive, or today we have rain in Texas and it might have kind of affected your mood. So whatever that is, let's just leave that off of our mat. And go ahead and just settle in, relax your abdominals, and maybe just place your hand on your belly. In our American society, so much, we hold so much tension into our belly, and especially as women, we're told, suck it in, zip it up, button it, tighten it, belt it, you know, in our culture. And so to let the belly be loose, it actually takes conscious effort. So just kind of embrace your belly today and just relax your shoulders and just feel the curvature of your stomach and let go of what your stomach might or should look like in your own judgment, and just let your belly be round and full. Just kind of that soft, relaxed feeling. Just begin to observe your breath, however it might be, right? Without shaping it or forming it or making it do this or that. Breathe. And then begin to pay attention to the belly. As we breathe in, the hands are going to kind of come away from the body. So we're going to breathe in, and the belly is going to extend. And then we're going to breathe out, and the hands are going to kind of come down. So the hands are a good way of just kind of noticing what's going on with your stomach and your muscles and all of the rib cage as you breathe. So practicing belly breath might feel backwards for some of us. Breathing all the way in, feel the belly puff out. And then as we exhale, we feel the belly button press in and up, and we feel that contraction of the belly pushing, the diaphragm pushing, and the exhale coming out. So the exhale is actually an upward and outward flow, and the inhale is a downward and a more opening flow. So you can feel those two elements of prana and apana moving in those two opposite directions as you Pay attention to your belly. You can do this with your hands resting on your body or just your intention. But I invite you to start to loosen the muscles around the outsides of your abdominals, all the 4 layers of your abdominals. Just let them be soft. And then we're going to use root lock, Mula Bandha. So root lock, those of you that are here in the studio are very familiar with root lock. And it's the upper abdominal lock. So we're squeezing the pelvic floor muscles. The perineum muscle sits between the anus and your genitals, and you're going to pull that muscle in and up an inch or so. And hold that in and up. It's going to want to let go, especially if you're not practiced with Mula Bandha. So you're going to hold that in and up without contracting your belly. That's the tricky part. So all of a sudden our belly's like, oh, I got this. I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm going to suck it in. No, we're not sucking anything in. We're still relaxed as we breathe. So perineum comes in and up. Hold that root lock. And then as you're holding the root lock, feel the belly expand. And contract. And try to hold your root lock the whole time. It's going to fluctuate. And it's sometimes kind of frustrating because you think you've mastered it, and then all of a sudden you can't control your root lock. Now, root lock is what we use in martial arts. Especially, it's very prevalent because if you didn't hold root lock, you wouldn't be able to have a very powerful punch or a powerful kick, right? So same thing with yoga. If we don't have a powerful root lock, none of our asanas will have power or prana. It won't have that life force energy. So that's the most important lock. So practicing your belly breath for about 5 to 10 more breaths with root lock. Feel the air moving in and out through the back of the throat. We're breathing through the nostrils, and so the nostril breathing tends to start to make a sound like you're holding a seashell up to your ear. It's called ujjayi or ujjayi breath. And the ujjayi breath is a breath of victorious breath or life force energy. So you're going to touch the tongue to the back of the teeth. Lips remain closed and the jaw remains soft. And then that creates a little space in the back of your throat. You can hear that life force energy moving. And it sounds like the tide. Awesome. So practice that every day. Every day, try to focus on your just natural belly breath with your root lock. And then you can start to add on more things as your practice develops. So we're going to go ahead and move into our asana flow. And so go ahead and come into all fours. And we're going to spread out the fingers, bring the knees below the hips, the hands beneath the shoulders into a tabletop position. And then we're just going to move into simple cat and cow breath. We're dropping the ribs down, lifting up the heart, opening the chest, and breathing in. And then exhale, round the back, tuck the head, curl the tail, pull the belly under as you breathe out. Inhaling into cow, opening the chest up. Exhaling into cat, curling the head, the neck, the shoulders, the tail, around to the back. Inhaling into cow. And exhaling into cat. And let's tuck the toes under. We're going to reach forward and we're going to press back onto our heels. We're going to kind of measure our hands and our feet as we extend fully into child's pose. So the palms are pressing into the ground, the fingers are wide. And then lifting up a little bit onto the knees. And then push back into the ball of your foot. You might even reach back and grab your pinky toe and spread out your pinky toe a little bit. And so that way your hands and your feet are both engaged into the ground. This is Hasta Bandha, binding your hands into the earth. Then we're going to inhale into down dog. And then exhale, just lower the knees down, staying in a pyramid position without coming forward into all fours. You're going to just lower the knees part way or just even a tiny bit into what we call a turbo dog. Using your core, come up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. You might lower just a little bit or a lot. So just a couple more breaths here, just gaining some strength. Maybe come all the way down, almost to a child's pose, and then back up. And one more time, back to your turbo dog. And back up. And then exhale, forward fold to the middle of your mat. Lift halfway, hands to your shins. And then on our exhale, slide the hands down the back of the body and fold in half all the way. And just hug yourself into a little ball. Loosen your toes. If that's too much, just lift halfway. I'm dealing with some allergy magic going on here, so I'm going to keep my head above my heart, or equal to my heart. If you're not super flexible too, you can also just grab opposite elbows and then drop into a forward fold there. Or again, you can tuck into that little ball. Let yourself deepen. Find a couple breaths. Maybe sway around a little bit. Let your head drop out. If you have hair, you can shake it out. If you don't have hair, you can shake your head. Relax your jaw. Bend your knees. We're going to come up into Utkatasana. Reach up, coming into your chair posture. Again, loosen your toes so your toes aren't gripping. Your knees are going to be right above your ball of your foot so that the knees and the ankles are even. Breathing here, gaining some prana life force, gaining some energy. Let's begin to move with the breath. Exhale back. Inhale, flow with your breath. Exhale back. And reach. And back. And two. Last one. Come all the way up. Exhale to mountain pose. And just relax the shoulders away from the ears. And breathe here. Now again, pay attention to your feet. In mountain pose, your feet are shoulder width. And so your feet are just down below the bony pronations of your hips. You're not military stance, you're not wide, and your feet aren't really close together, so you have a nice good base. Tadasana, we're going to energize our fingers out toward the ground. We're going to lift our heart center and lift our crown of the head toward the sky without looking up. We're just leaving the chin level with the earth. Use that Ujjayi breath. Now notice if you forgot about your root lock, which I think a lot of us tend to constantly forget about root lock. And so it's a constant practice to apply that pelvic floor lift. You're going to reach up and flow with the breath. And exhale out. Inhaling up. And exhaling out. This time we're going to take a swan dive, reach all the way up. We're going to fold in half all the way down, folding either in half or halfway lift. Breathe here. Fold all the way down, and then right back into Utkatasana. 3 breaths with the arms moving, exhaling back. Add a little buoyancy to your hips, inhaling, and back. And coming all the way up. And exhale again to mountain pose. This time we're going to come into starting posture. Hands are going to come to our heart center. We're going to bring our feet together this time. Toes are actually going to touch if they can. Heels are slightly apart. And so this is going to help us connect with the earth here, connecting and wrapping the energy of the muscles around the femurs and grounding down through the feet. And then just loosen your toes so you're not gripping. Hands are right at heart center, Anjali Mudra. And breathe. Let's reach all the way up. Let's take a back bend. Exhale, swan dive. Fold in half all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Take your back bend. And back to our heart center. And releasing here. Just activate the elbows out to the side. Hands to our heart. Let's reach up and bring our hands to about shoulder width. We're going to step our right foot back into, our left foot back into warrior one. And bend your knee. So coming into warrior one, we're facing forward. Our hands are reaching toward the sky. We can also open the chest more by coming into butterfly arms, taking the arms out. We're not dropping the arms down low. We're keeping them shoulder width where the elbows are open, the heart is open, and the fingers are energized. Or you can have your traditional warrior where you're reaching up toward the sky. Find your focal point straight ahead and begin to use your drishti, that specific little spot that you're gazing at. And breathe. In and out through the nose. One more big inhale. Exhale. Remember your root block. Inhale, reaching up if you're not reaching already. Exhale, opening into warrior two. We're going to deepen our stance down our mat a bit. We're going to separate the feet heel to heel so it's a little bit longer stance. And the hips and the shoulders are open to the long side of our mat. Gazing forward over the fingertips. Settle down into the legs. And then extend through the fingertips, front to back. Loosen through your toes. Take a moment to ground into the element of the earth. Deep down through your feet. Again, apply your root lock, Mula Bandha. Big inhale and exhale, Ujjayi breath. Let's take right palm up to the sky. Keep your knee right over your ankle. Come into your reverse warrior. Now we're not leaning back and reaching down for the ground. What we're doing is we're lifting up and out through the rib cage. Our hips and shoulders are still remaining open to the side of our mat. And then gazing up toward the sky, up toward the heavens. Opening through the armpit on the right side, opening through those right intercostal muscles in between the ribs. Breathe here. Just find a focal point somewhere up at the sky. If that's too much for your neck, just gaze down at your left heel. Breathe here. So inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Breathing here. Let's come into a side angle. Parsvakonasana. So sitting our forearm down on our thigh, we're going to work our back foot a little bit deeper down the mat and then reach that left arm up and over. Gazing up toward the sky. If it's too much for your head, neck, and shoulders, just gaze to the side or look down. But you're keeping your head and your shoulders right over your thighs, so you're not leaning forward at all. We're simply opening that side body. Let's spiral our pinky down so that the palm faces behind the body to the back side, and then open and extend from the pinky all the way to your pinky toe. Reach, breathe. Exhale, ground through your feet. Cupping that right palm, that bottom palm, just catching all that amazing intentions that you've set for this new year. Breathe in, use your root lock as you come up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Virabhadrasana. Breathe here, take a reverse warrior. We're going to exhale down and come into our first lunge and pivot that back heel. So now we're going to runner's lunge here. Breathe. 2 more breaths here. Lift up and out through your left thigh and push back through your right heel. 1 more big inhale. Notice if the crown of your head is lifting up. Just bring your head so that's in alignment with your back heel. The crown of your head is making a straight line. And let's inhale back to a full plank. Now, full plank might be a lot, especially if you feel like you have to lift your booty up or if you have to dip your waist down to get there. So you can just simply drop your knees and come into Ardha or half plank and hold here. Use your Ujjayi breath. A couple more inhales and exhales. Either full plankasana or Ardha, half. Let's drop the knees all together. Coming into your half plank, breath in. On our exhale, we're going to lower the heart center down, just like a little caterpillar, into our pranam. And come down all the way flat. Rest your head. Spreading out the fingers next to the chest. We're going to tuck our elbows back by our side body. Setting up for Bhujangasana, our cobra pose. Bring the ankles a little closer in if possible. If you're nurturing your back, just keep your ankles shoulder width. And we're going to just tuck the chin, coming into Jalandhara Bandha, throat lock. Push down with your thighs. Push down with the tops of your feet. So you're not letting your feet come up off the ground at all. You're really rooting down. Imagine your feet are like the tips of the tail on a snake. And then you're just going to tuck that chin as you lift the heart center up. Try not to push with the hands, but instead push down with the legs. And then sway. Breathing into your cobra. Add your open throat at the top, looking up. And then exhale, swaying back down. All the way, let your forehead rest. And then sweep your hands back by the hips, palms turn up. Let's take our toes out to the side. Heels drop in as you flex, dorsiflexion on the heels. And resting either on the chin or the forehead, we're coming into crocodile, Makrasana. Just gently sway side to side. Breathe here. Deep breath in and out through the nose. Take one more breath into our cobra, bringing the feet back together, setting up for Bhujangasana. Tuck the chin, rise up. Top of the breath, expand the throat. Try not to lift your pelvis off the ground, but you're lifting just with the pressure of the palms and the hips and the tops of the feet. Maybe sway a little bit just to get that snake-like movement. And then gently sway all the way back down, back to crocodile, and rest. Palms turn up by your side body. Toes turn out to the side, heels turn in. And again, just take that moment to ground down into the earth. Maybe take a couple extra long breaths here through the nose. Reaching forward, press back into child's pose, and bring your toes tucked underneath you like we did when we started with our active child's pose. And reaching the hands forward. Elbows are going to be active. Palms are spread out. Ball of the foot is spread out. And then we're going to inhale into our downward facing dog. Adho Mukha, downward facing. And just gently pedal the legs and walk it out. And breathe here. Let your head drop out, shake it out. Let's take an inhale, right foot to the sky. Three-legged dog, bend the knee and open the hip. Look underneath your right arm. Kick it up. Exhale it down. Inhale, lift the left. Bend the knee and open the hip. Look underneath your left arm. Kick it up. Exhale down. And let's walk hands and feet together, forward fold in the middle of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold in half. Coming right into our Utkatasana flow, chair posture, inhaling up. Settle down into the hips and legs, settle down into the ankles. We're going to flow with the arms, reaching up. Exhale back. And flow with your breath. Big breath in, come all the way to standing. Exhale to mountain pose, Tadasana. Bring our hands down by our sides. Feet are shoulder width. So bringing the feet, or the heels are just right beneath the center of the hips. Again, they're not too wide, they're not too narrow. It's just a nice, good base for your body. Flow with the breath, inhaling up. Exhaling out. 3 breaths in mountain pose. You can let your gaze follow, or you can keep your head still. So inhale all the way up, take the palms together. Bring your feet together and take a back bend. Exhale to our heart center. Let's come to the top of our mat, coming into Samastitihi. Starting posture. We're going to begin the same vinyasa on the other side, reaching all the way up. And then exhale, stepping the right foot back this time. Bring your heel directly behind the front heel. Turn the hips and shoulders to face forward. Your hip's not going to forcefully face forward, but it's not going to be turned off to the side. And then add in your reach. Spread out the fingers. And then if you'd like to here, open the chest and heart a little bit more. Take butterfly pose with the arms. Find a nice deep ujjayi breath. As you settle into your warrior, loosen up your toes. Make sure the edge of your back foot is actually touching the edge of the mat, because a lot of times I see people in warrior and their heels off the ground, and that's not grounded, right? We're trying to root down through our feet. Big breath, reach up. Open the hips and shoulders, warrior two, and arms reach front to back. This time the toe turns out to about 9 o'clock. The front toes are still facing about 12 o'clock, and relax through the shoulders. So the shoulders aren't pinching up by the ears. You're trying to create a little space there. Gazing forward. Breath in. Breath out. 2 more long, full breaths. Let's take our left palm up to the sky. Reverse warrior. Sink down into the left leg and then open through the left ribs. Again, find some space between those little intercostal muscles, between the ribs. Sink down a little deeper into your left knee. Look up, or if that's too much for your neck, or if you want to relax a little bit more in your posture, look down into your right foot. But don't lean back, because that takes you out of your alignment. Back to warrior two. And coming into our side angle, Parsvakonasana. Our front forearm's going to just rest. The bony part of the arm, not the elbow, is going to rest on the thigh. And then reach your right arm up and over, and then drop that shoulder open by rolling the palm to face the back. Reach from your pinky all the way to your pinky toe. And expand into that long side movement. Maybe even work your left knee a little deeper, or work your right foot a little deeper down your mat. Breathe here. Remember your Ujjayi breath. Those of y'all that are in your studio, you can encourage each other to breathe a little deeper by hearing each other's breath. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, back. Come into your warrior two. Extending front to back, side to side. Chest and shoulders are open, hips are open. Let's take a reverse warrior, left palm up, and then windmill down and find our lunge on that left foot forward. Pivoting the right heel, coming into your runner's lunge here. Gaze is just a couple feet in front of our mat. Our head's not dropped down, and it's also not hiked up. So we're trying to make the front and the back of our neck equal. You can also drop the knee, and that's a good option here if you're trying to open the hip a little bit more. But you don't want it to be down like a box. You still want to be sliding that left knee back and opening through that psoas muscle. 1 or 2 more breaths here. Let's inhale back to a plank. Coming into Plankasana. Now again, if you haven't been practicing plank for a while, this might be a little shaky. You might feel like you have to come out of your alignment. So instead of doing that, just drop your knees. You don't want your feet up. This is not like an aerobic class where you're kicking your feet up. Your feet still stay relaxed. So you can take kneeling plank if you want. Otherwise, full plank for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop the knees to kneeling plank. Again, the toes remain relaxed on the ground. And we're going to lower the chest down, lower the belly all the way flat, and set up for your cobra. So Bhujangasana is your cobra posture. The arms are going to be streamlined next to your body. Spread out the fingers and try to avoid pushing the heel of your hand into the ground. A lot of times people just push up into cobra, and that's really hard on your low back. So what we're going to do is we're going to engage through the core by bringing the ankles a little closer in, pushing down through the tops of the feet, down through the thighs, down through the pelvis. And then from here, tuck the chin. Next breath in, root down to rise up. And then open the throat and sway. And then lowering down and rest your head. Coming into crocodile, arms sweep back, palms turn up, and let the shoulders melt down. Turn the toes out to the side and widen the feet. Bringing the heels apart about a foot or two, making a nice wide crocodile tail, and then just gently sway side to side. Let your shoulders and your elbows relax. A lot of times, there's a lot of tension in the shoulders, and the shoulders are still up real high, so try to Melt the elbows a little bit and shake them out a little bit. And then prepping for your cobra one more time. Toes point straight back, either shoulder width to nurture the back or a little closer in to activate the core. Fingertips come next to the chest. Thumbs are going to be kind of at the nipple line, and then elbows squeeze back, through not out to the side. Forehead touches, make that connection with the third eye. Coming into your throat lock. Excuse me. And then rise up into your cobra. Expand your throat at the top. Swaying here. And then exhaling your way back to crocodile, all the way down. Rest your head. Arms back by the hips. Toes turn out to the sides. And just gently rock your body. And sway. And breathe. Tuck the toes under, press back into an active child's pose again, please. From here, just simply melt down, allow your low back to get a nice big stretch after those cobra movements. And let your head rest between your arms. The forehead can touch the ground if it's able to. If not, just let your head relax all the way. Gently move the hips from side to side. I'm still activating the feet so that the toes are still tucked under. The hands are still engaged. We're going to inhale through our core posture, coming up through turbo dog into downward facing dog. And then exhale, just lower a little bit and then come up. Maybe just practice just bending the knees without getting into the shoulders. Once you get a little bit more core control, you can come down a little lower, maybe almost to child's pose, and then back. And again, work on your root lock. As you breathe, Ujjayi breath. And then exhale, we're going to drop to the knees and press back to our child's pose again. As you notice, your hands and your feet really didn't move that much, did it? So this is a really good way for you to acknowledge where your hands and feet are placed in your child's pose, in your down dog. Same postures, same measurement for your warrior stance even. So this is something good for you to remember if you're just learning your practice. If you're advanced, it's something just to kind of keep in mind in the back of your mind, or if you're teaching for your students, for those of you that are in my training program watching. So just you always want to kind of pay attention to that. Now we're going to come back up into downward facing dog with a big inhale. Lift that right foot to the sky. Inhale, open the hip. Flex the heel so that the heel is coming towards your right hip, your left hip, and your right knee's coming up and open. Kick it back up, and exhaling it down. Inhale, lift the left, bend the knee, roll the hip open, big breath in. Kick it up, exhale it down. And we're just gonna pedal the legs and just walk your dog nice and slow. Shake it out. Walk hands and feet together, forward fold. Hands to shins, lengthen halfway. Slide the hands down the hamstrings and fold into half. And then tucking your fingertips down behind your Achilles tendons, pull your elbows behind your knees and tuck into a little ball. Now if that's not working for you, grab opposite elbows. Bring your feet a little bit wider. Just gently rock here. And for me, again, I have that allergy magic going on, so I'm going to lift my head level with my heart. And that's also good for high or low blood pressure. Breathe here. Bend the knees, come into Utkatasana all the way up. And sink down into your chair. Let's take 5 breaths. Inhaling up, exhaling back. And 2. Exhale back, last one. Sink nice and low. Come all the way to standing. And exhale, Tadasana. Hold here or flow with your breath. Big inhale up, hands to heart center, optional back bend, and then returning to Samastitihi. You can always back bend too with your hands at your heart center. So if you're having a day where your back's just kind of like a little bit angry, you can just take your back bend here. And it's not as much weight. Once you add your arms in there, you're adding the weight of your whole arms, and it's all impacting in those, lower vertebrae. So just an option for you on those days where you're wanting to nurture your back a little bit more. I know a lot of us are coming off the holidays and maybe not so much asana practice over the holidays. So lots of food, maybe a little bit more stuff going on around here. So let's come into a balancing posture today. I'm going to go ahead and move right into triangle. So we're going to step our left foot forward and then step that right foot just maybe about 18 inches behind it. You're going to turn the right toes out to about 2 o'clock. So breathing from here, we're going to open the hips and shoulders and just take a little bit of a bend to that knee. We're just going to come into a short stance triangle, reaching forward, pull your body all the way forward, and then just drop the fingertips down to the shin and expand through. Maybe widen your feet a little bit more, deepen your space here. Coming into Trikonasana. If you want to activate the core, just roll your left palm open instead of using it for a prop, and use your core strength. And that's why a shorter stance works better in this instance. You can also take a block, or you can reach for the ground and maybe step a little bit deeper. And come right into our half moon, so bend the knee. Take your left hand in front of your toes. We're going to come up onto the right toes, just there. We're going to take a half bind. So again, we're going to take that hand kind of out of the equation, and then look down towards your left fingertips. Kick that right heel up. And breathe here. Find your focal point, or turn your focal point out to the right, and then reach your right hand up. Spread out the fingers. Take a dorsiflexion on that right heel. Pull your toes towards you. And breathe. Back to triangle. Holding here. Inhale. Lift up and back to a very short stance, warrior 2. And then Virabhadasana 1. Exhale, back to Tadasana. Inhaling up. And fold. Lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold in half. Coming up to chair, 3 breaths here. Exhale, back. Inhaling up. And back. And one more. And back and all the way to standing. And exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Back to our starting posture. Hands at our heart. Couple breaths here. And find that focal point. Ujjayi breath. Reach up. Exhale, step that left foot back, just a short stance, just about 18 inches to 2 feet between your feet, depending on how tall you are. And then we're going to take a tiny bend, taking just a little tiny warrior 1. And then opening up into a short stance, warrior 2. Straighten the leg. We're prepping for a triangle where we're using our core. So we're pulling the body forward as we push the left hip back without leaning yet. We're pulling, 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 and then just take that right hand and touch down at the shin. Left hand comes up toward the sky. Maybe adjust where your feet are. And then using that core strength, we're going to open that right palm. Push down into the edge of your left heel. And expand up and out through the left palm. Ujjayi breath here. Exhale, soften your knee. Take the right hand down right by your right toe and then take a half bind to that left hand. We're going to come up part way and just come on the toes. You can also use a block right here on that right hand, underneath that right hand, and go ahead and kick that left foot up, flex your heel. Now the reason that we haven't reached our left hand up yet is because we first want to roll that left shoulder open a little bit, and then take your gaze out to the left. Option to reach up, and add that reach back in. Breathe here. Grab a block if you'd like one. No worries. One more big breath. Ardha Chandrasana. Half moon. Toes come down, bend your knee. Take a little warrior two stance, just a short stance. And then warrior one. Exhale, mountain pose. And just flow with our breath, reaching up. Doesn't that feel good? And reaching all the way up, take a back bend. And exhale, hands come to our heart center. Let's reach all the way up to the sky, big breath in. Back bend one more time. Then we're going to come right to a swan dive. And just hang out here. Widen your feet this time. So you can place about 2 fists between your feet. And then we're going to grab opposite elbows. And just drop the head, neck, and shoulders out. And just gently rock. Shake it up. Relax your head. Bend your knees a little bit. And you can let your chest rest on your thighs if that feels good. And just gently rock. Touch the ground, sink the hips down and look forward in a monkey pose. We're going to widen the knees and bring your hands between the feet, coming into low goddess pose. From here, if you want to take a prop like a towel or 2 blocks and place them underneath your heels to give your heels some support, you can do that. You can take a small bolster and just give yourself some support while you're in your low goddess. Malasana. Hands come to our heart center. We're just going to breathe here. In and out through the nose. And then just let your head begin to drop. Shaking it out. Letting yourself drop forward and melt a little bit. If you want to deepen, you can take your palms out and open. And let the backs of your hands drop out to the ground, and then just let yourself drop a little further. So your thumbs are going to point toward the back of your mat, and just let your head drop out. You can work your heels a little closer in toward each other. If you're using a prop or if you don't need it, you can release it. And what you're going to do is you're going to begin to reach behind the back of your heels and take Ganesha grip, which is an active acrobatic grip where all 4 fingers hook together. So you're going to have to adjust the width between your feet, move your water bottles and anything else from around you, and then hook your hands right underneath behind your heels. And you can kind of rest your heels on your hands even. So if you bring your heels a little closer in, you actually can grip the fingers all the way together. So maybe move your heels a little closer together. So that way, yep, there you go. And so from here, it takes a lot of surrender and trust. And then just drop yourself forward and come onto the crown of your head. It's not very far. It seems like it's really far, but it's really not that far. And you're like, okay, no. But you don't have to do that. That's the next stage, next trauma. And if you topple out, you're not going very far because you're right on the ground anyway, right? So from here, if you begin to rest, you can drop into a little bit of a deeper posture. And it's okay to try something new, right? And to fall out of it, because that's how we learn. So Malasana is not a mala, like a necklace. This is a mala as releasing urine, feces, sweat, releasing everything that no longer serves you. So at this point, this is when we really can get deep into our practice and just let everything go. And just release it out. Breathe here. Couple nice long breaths. I'm going to kind of come to the side so you can see what my hands are doing. So I actually bring my heels almost onto my fists. And so that way I have a little bit of support there when I come in. Coming back up, push into your toes and push back into your heels. Come back to heart center. Ooh, that's intense, huh? Yeah, so we're just going to kind of move from side to side and just roll that out. Let's go come into some cat and cows. So if you're in the full pose and your gastrocnemius muscle is really activated, you can tap the foot out a little bit here and just release that out. Then we're going to move into a nice sacral chakra movement in our cat and cow. So we're just rolling the hips and shoulders, letting the head drop out, back and forth, and then we're going to inhale into our cow. And exhale all the way out, down and around, side to side, and then scooping up into our cow. Exhaling it back, chakra vikasana. So we're moving into all the energy points in the body, all the chakras, and using that spiral motion. Again, Ujjayi breath. One more breath here, exhaling it out. I'm coming into center. And we'll do some lion's breath. So lion's breath is really fun. I know you love that one. Good thing you're not on YouTube, because I am. Okay, so y'all better participate. So lion's breath, you're not going to go like a little cat. You're going to like a lion. Okay, so if you don't want to, you can not do it. But at least you're not being filmed, okay? So come on, throw me a bone here. Go for it.
Who would think of it?
Lion's breath?
Yeah.
Lion's breath is awesome. Simbasana or Simbasana? Simbasana. Like Simba, like the Lion King. That's how I always remember it. Okay, so we're going to take a breath into a cow pose. And then as you exhale, you're going to just kind of claw the mat, and then you're going to lean your heart center forward, and then let your tongue drop out, and just a big exhale through the mouth with a sound, like a ha sound, okay? We'll do 5. Big breath in, and exhale. Ha! You're going to reach forward. Ha! All the way out. Big inhale. And exhale. Ha! So really claw the mat. Big breath. 2 more. Big breath in. Come back to your cat and cow. And then exhale with your mouth. And just rock side to side. Come into seated. All right, so we're going to discuss that, because I know that came up some stuff for y'all. And so, how does it feel like? Does it feel silly? Does it feel like, what do you notice coming up for you? Like when you do something like that, that's totally out of your regular daily routine.
It really goes deep into, I don't know, there's just these, it's a deep feeling, like when you do the belly lift.
Yeah.
With the gnawing and all that
Yes.
kind of stuff. It's that kind of like...
It's a cleanse. Yeah, it's a kriya. It's a kriya, really. It's not really a breath, it's a kriya. Yeah, so it's definitely a cleansing action.
I like that.
Pushes stuff
Adding
out.
voice to it, I think, sort of makes it more emotional.
Yes, absolutely, because you're opening that 5th chakra. A lot of us tend to use that in lots of ways, but when we use it in expressing and releasing, then like sometimes I'll cough, Sometimes I'll cry. I mean, a lot of stuff comes out, you know, so it's really good. It's really good. Anything else come up for either of y'all? Yes, but you're not going to talk about it?
Uniqueness.
Liberating, almost.
What is
liberating,
it? Liberating. Yeah, it is liberating. Yeah, because you're like, hell yeah, I'm going to just, that, you know? Absolutely. And so it's really fun to do, especially when you're like committed to do it in front of other people, you know, or like on YouTube. You know, I hope y'all did it at home too, because, you know, if not, go ahead and rewind it and do it again, because you need to experience that. And it's any type of pranayama activates different energetics. So we're going to move into a real simple Kundalini movement with a simple seated posture. So I'd like for you to take a simple seated posture where your legs are crossed, but they're not crisscrossed in like a Sukhasana, but they're crisscrossed more like the Siddhasana posture. Or you can even take butterfly, but it's preferable to have your ankles crossed in front of you. And if you need a prop, like if one of your knees sits higher, you can take and prop your knee up with the block. Thank you. So holding on to the knees, we're going to lift our chest nice and tall, and then relax the shoulders back and down away from the ears. And notice what happens to your sacral chakra when you do that, especially women. Do you feel like when you do that, all of a sudden, whoop, you know, your tailbone comes out? So we just lost our connection with Mother Earth, right there. By lifting our heart, oh, no connection. Ground it through, and then lift your heart. So you feel that rooted in, that tapped in, and so you can really feel that energetic connection. And that's super, super important. And then as we rise up from our heart, we can expand through the collarbones, through the high heart. And notice if the chin wants to lift up. So you just want to keep the chin relaxed, level with the earth. And then you're feeling that lift continue through the soft palate of the top of the mouth, through the center of the third eye, and then up and out through the crown of the head, connecting into Father Sky. And then again, you're pulling prana down from Father Sky, down through those chakras, down through your fire center, through your sacral chakra, and rooting it down to the earth. So you're going to feel those two elements of connection. And then we're going to add in this spiral movement, because we are not made to be linear. We are made to move like a spiral. Everything moves like a spiral. Even our galaxy is a spiral. And so we're going to move the hips and shoulders 9 times one direction and then 9 times the other. So just take a hold of your knees with your palms and then relax the shoulders. And we have cat hair. That's okay. We're not going to analyze our pedicure, you know, whether we need to book an appointment. We're just going to breathe, okay? So take a big breath in. And then exhale, begin to lean back and round and pull the pubic bone forward. And then inhale, roll forward. And lift the tailbone up, but still keep that root chakra connection. And then exhale, rolling back. And we're just going to make a small circle to the right, left, forward, right, back. And then just let yourself move. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Close your eyes. Let your head drop. Deepen your circles, maybe widen. Drop the head out, inhaling back. Exhaling it out. Let your head move side to side, let it be heavy. And then one more time. Maybe make the circle smaller or bigger. And then stop at the back, and then roll right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. And then add your breath to this movement. Cleansing through the whole entire energetic system. And moving that energy out. Getting into little nooks and crannies that we normally don't get oxygen. Let your head just drop out in various directions. Maybe sometimes make your circles fast More slow. Let's do 2 more. Inhale all the way back, exhale all the way down and around. And then coming back to center. Now just holding on to the knees. We'll take a Jhana Mudra. Index finger touches the thumb. The other 3 fingers extend out with energy. We're just going to place the palms down into a grounded mudra. And then we're just going to push down slightly with the tailbone. Notice that the belly wanted to tighten up again. It's just habitual. Let it relax. And breathe here. Siddhasana. Now if you can take your heel and push it all the way into the pubic bone, and then take your other foot and lay it against your shin where the sole of the foot is connected to the shin. And then you're going to use the heel of your hand or your forearms to push your knees away from your shoulders and create lift with the upper heart center. Squeeze every bit of breath out. 2 more nice long deep breaths here. You're doing a great job. And then coming back to center. Let's go ahead and bring our feet together. Coming into butterfly and centering yourself on your mat. And then just lower yourself down all the way back. We're going to take Yoni Mudra, so we're going to take a downward facing triangle. And we're just going to place the hands right beneath the navel where the thumbs are straight across. The index fingers are pointed down toward the pubic bone. And then just set the palms on the body. Let the elbows relax out to the side. Ladies, if you have your hair up, go ahead and take your hair down and release your hair out to the sides. If you have like a Fitbit or an iPhone watch or Apple Watch or whatever, please take all that stuff off of your body when you practice yoga, and especially in your Shavasana. Removing it out of your frequency and even completely off or on airplane mode is ideal, just to give yourself that total reset of your energy. Melt your shoulders down into the ground. Now again, if your knees sit rather high, you can tuck a prop under each knee and just set it there, which might help. If you have any neck injury or you need something to support the nape of your neck, go ahead and do that. Nice long deep full breath here, all the way into the belly, in your butterfly, Baddha Konasana. One more big, huge breath, and then release your legs out on your exhale into corpse pose. And while you do that, I'm going to play the crystal bowl for you as we relax completely into our Shavasana. Take a moment to be in this place of gratitude. And be in a place of gratitude, of blessings before they come in. It's easy to be thankful of things you already have. But the key to manifesting and pulling all this amazing stuff in that you dream of and you create is to be grateful before it comes, knowing it's coming. Infinite wisdom guides you. The infinite power courses through you. Wherever you are, God is. Aho. Namaste. Stay in your Shavasana as long as you like, and we'll see you next time.